Welcome to the home gym. This is our single car garage. It's about 300 square feet. For everybody not American, that's like 100 meters squared. Not a huge space, but I've grown to love it deeply, and I've been curating it for the past 3 months. It doesn't look like much, but I've put a lot of time and energy and thought into this space, and it's just kind of become like my haven for training, and I love it so very much. I think I already said that. It used to just be for storage. It was a hot mess for a long time. We just threw a bunch of crap in here. But recently I actually built a shed on the side of the house for a bunch of lawn tools, including our lawn mower. And we actually cleaned out the back shed in our backyard to just be a bike shed. So all of our bicycles are back there on a rack instead of in here. You might have seen other videos where they were just all kind of thrown into this area that I'm like standing in. Now it's fully clear to just be a gym. We inherited the floors of this place. The former owner put in brand new flooring. I believe it's like a granite composite epoxy, so it's really just solid. It's kind of rough around the edges, but smooth on the bottom. And we did this like puzzle piece flooring, which isn't the most ideal. It's not your typical gym flooring that you'd find in like a commercial gym, like that really hard stuff. It's definitely more plush and foamy. It gets the job done. It's really expensive to get flooring, so and this wasn't even super cheap either. It almost does feel like it eventually will kind of wear down over the years, but we'll kind of cross that bridge when we see it. The great thing about it is that it's customizable with what we want in the space, with how we wanted to build out flooring, where we wanted it. So one of the biggest things, like we had all that flooring in the far space. If you've been watching for a while on this channel, I've had the Rogue Rack for a while, and we had that flooring over there. But this was kind of the area that was just chaos. We've filled that space out now, and it's really great because Sabria has a place to do her yoga, and it's just a space for utility. So as I move into my next series and I do more mobility and strength and conditioning, I'll have a pretty wide open space to be able to do so. I'd say this section is probably a good 80 square feet just right here. I can't share what's on this board, so I need to erase it. Don't want to give away too much for the Chicago series that's coming up, but that is coming up, so get excited. So I'm a filmmaker. If it wasn't obvious in the production quality of the videos that I make here, not many runners are traditional filmmakers, so that's a huge reason why I decided to paint this entire wall black, because it acts as what in the filmmaking world you call as negative fill. So it is a big black wall that actually gives you dimension when you're talking. Like right here, you get more of a shadow side, and you get a light source that kind of wraps light around. So you get dimension on my face right here. So anytime I film anything in here, I have a black negative wall to work off of, and it creates shadow and shape without me needing to use a bunch of lighting to make the image look really good and really cool. Plus aesthetically, I love black and white, monochrome, and earth tone, and I just think it looks really good as well and gives dimension to the space also. Highly recommend. It's just this accent wall that it feels like a statement piece. It almost makes the place look bigger. What do you think? At the end of the day, it's just a garage, so it can be kind of sloppy, and it's fine. It's not perfect in every regard, but I'll take it. It's hard to see with the black wall, but one of my favorite pieces in this gym is the TV that sits on the wall there. It's kind of camouflaged when you have a black wall. You can sort of see it there. What if I just go like this? There, you can see it. You might think it's incredibly extra, and it is. Don't get me wrong. It's very, very extra to have a TV right in your face when you're on a treadmill, but I love YouTube. I'm on YouTube. I watch YouTube. So I catch up with YouTube while I'm on the treadmill and running. Plus, it's really cool to have POV races on the screen. You almost feel like you're part of the race. I love doing that for like a Boston or a New York marathon, and it just I don't know if you're doing a long run on the treadmill, if it's nasty outside, you get kind of engrossed in it. You put AirPods in, which brings me to the next point. I put Apple TV on here. I geek out on it. And just downloaded Zwift, which I'll be getting to with all of the Wahoo stuff. And I can run in a virtual world through Watopia and Zwift. It's just tons of options. It is extra, but it's great. It's also great for if we're in the gym together, Sabria and I, we could watch The Office while I run, or I could even watch a movie if I wanted to, be kind of engrossed in it instead of just on like a tiny little phone in the front. Didn't necessarily need to put Apple TV in here, but it's, you know, it's a Costco TV. It's an LG TV from Costco, and it is technically a smart TV, but it's just not as intuitive as Apple products. Love Apple products, have an iPad and I have a MacBook Pro and an iPhone and all that stuff. So just to be in the ecosystem, I could throw AirPods in and connect right to the TV. It's pretty fantastic, and gives me the ability to download other apps that I might not be able to otherwise, and it just boots up way faster. Now, there's a bunch of cable management back there that I felt really proud of at first, but virtually all the adhesive that stuck to the wall, they're cheap and they unstuck from the wall. So I do not recommend these. Bought them on Amazon. Don't buy them if you're looking to do something like this. All right, let's talk about this treadmill. My new love. That was sacrilegious. Now, obviously, the Wahoo Kicker Run is the centerpiece of this gym. It makes sense because I run a lot. It's not that my former treadmill was anything bad. This thing is just so much more capable in so many different ways, and I want to go through all of those things for you and why I've just enjoyed it so much over the past 2 to 3 months, which is how long I've had it in this gym. It was an insanely easy setup. Guys, like 4 dudes with a truck came, they installed it and everything. It was all shipped here, done, put together within an hour, like no more than an hour. And then there was intuitive setup through the Wahoo app where I could just set up all the rest of it and get it going on my own. One of the biggest things that is popular about this machine is that it goes fast. It goes down to 4 minutes per mile in speed. I'll put that in kilometers as well. And I don't really ever have a purpose for going that fast, but I have gotten down to about 4:15 or 4:20 on some speed work if I'm doing, you know, strides or 100, 200 meter repeats or 30 seconds on. I can get down to that fast on this thing, which is wild. And the other component is that a lot of treadmills in the non-commercial space, home gym treadmills or at-home treadmills, have a lot of bounce to the deck. This has 0 bounce at all. According to Wahoo's website, it is 429 pounds, and it quite literally feels like you're running on the road. The first time I ever ran on this machine was at Naperville Running Company. I was in the my spring series leading to McCurdy. And that's the biggest thing I noticed at first, is that there was no give on the deck, and it literally felt like I was running on pavement. And I hadn't really felt that on a treadmill before, maybe on some commercial gym treadmills, but to have that in your home is pretty insane and something that I would want as a feature if I'm training really hard, because treadmill training just kind of inherently, to me, feels easier than road running. I know it doesn't feel the same to everybody, but to have a deck that really doesn't have any give doesn't make me feel like I am bouncing too much. Now, the paddles on the side here, one is for speed and one is for, I almost said altitude. One's for speed and one is for incline, and there are 3 different modes that you can use to increase the speed, decrease the speed, increase the incline, decrease the incline. If you just flick the paddle, it's going to give you a certain gap in the speed or incline change. If you push it forward with more intensity, it will do it more intensely. And then if you actually hold it all the way down and hold it there, it will go in, at least the speed side, in second increments. So you can dial in your exact speed exactly how you want it. And it's super intuitive once you get to use it. And it's something I love about it, because especially when you're doing something fast, just reaching and like flicking the paddle to slow down is so much better than having to, with one finger, like push a button, like beep, 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 to try to go back down, or try to like nail one speed with one finger while you're flying at, you know, sub 5 minute mile pace. So absolutely love that feature. It is a crazy minimal display. You don't have to worry about all of the different metrics and numbers. You can have that on the Wahoo app while you run. So I just put my phone up on the deck, up top on the stand while I run, to show total distance and heart rate and those metrics. but I don't have to display that if I don't want to. I can just focus on whatever speed I'm going and the incline. And then that platform up top is incredible because it's incredibly sturdy. Very, very little give on this thing. It's very solid. So you could put an iPad, you could put a laptop, you could put your phone, you could put gels, you could put really all you want on there, and it's not gonna move really at all because it is so sturdy, and there's like a rubber pad on the top that gives you some grip to hold it really nicely in there, as opposed to a lot of commercial treadmills just kind of have 2 cup holders and kind of a face where you can't put anything. So if you don't have the TV set up and you wanted to run something like Zwift, or you want to watch a movie, you could put a laptop there or an iPad to really kind of do the same thing if that's your vibe. A really cool feature on here as well on the right side is the run free mode. And I like to think of it as cruise control. And I use cruise control in my car like this a lot. I get to a certain speed and I hit cruise control to hold it there. So in run free, there is a sensor right in the middle of the treadmill up here at the front of the deck that shows how far you are away from it. And if you increase speed, it will pick it up and start going faster. The belt will run faster. And then if you back up, it will start going slower. So you can dictate how fast or slow you want in run free mode, but like cruise control in a car, you can press that run free button again and it will lock the pace that you just set on it. You can run free whenever you want to, and then if you feel like you want to lock that in and not have to maintain it with going back and forth, you could just hit run free again and it'll hold it there. So you can do it by changing speed, or I like to do it every once in a while on an easy run where I just kind of want to not worry about the pace and just kind of feel it out as I go. Very nice for a progression run where you're going from really easy to maybe a bit more steady. Massive thank you to Wahoo for sending me this, for sponsoring this video and featuring this machine. It has become one of my favorite tools in all of my running. I went through a period of a couple weeks recently where I wasn't running outside at all because I love the experience so much. I've gotten out a bit more, but yeah, it gets pretty hot here in the summer. I don't have AC in here, but I do have the Kicker headwind fan at the bottom, which is also so clutch because that'll just shoot up cooler air when I'm running as well. So running both at the same time is fantastic. And if you're interested in purchasing the Kicker Run treadmill, you can actually use the link in my description and my code Floberg at checkout to get a free Kicker headwind fan with the purchase of the treadmill. The whiteboard is an incredibly fun feature. Focus. Because because I can write out all my ideas in training. And as you saw me race earlier, I planned the whole Chicago series on that thing. And it's great as a visual learner and someone who needs tactile note taking and to visualize things like my training. Probably gonna go to that every single week in the Chicago series to dial in what days I'm doing what and what strength and mobility I need to do and my macros for eating and all of that good stuff. But just, I don't know, very simple tool, but very good tool to have lying around. You know, if you're anything like me, you might brainstorm a lot while you're running. So if I'm on the treadmill and have an idea, I could jump off real quick, write a note, and then be on my way. We got this little gym organizer right here. Very nice for weights like dumbbells and kettlebells up top. I have bigger kettlebells down on the bottom left over here. This is funny. And then things like my balance disc and my foam roller and Sabria's yoga mats and yoga blocks and just all of these different things that we can store in there and keep organized instead of having a ton of crap lying all over the gym. Great perspective of the shoe shelf up there. Shoe shelf saved my marriage because I had shoes lying around the house everywhere. So now the shoes that I use are up there and then I cycle them in and out based off of new ones and retired ones. And yeah, I keep other racing shoes up in my closet, but there's really no more running shoes floating around the house anymore. And my wife is super grateful for that. So the last thing here is what I use probably the most infrequently and will be changing quite a bit as I move into Chicago series and want to become a hybrid athlete. I'm not going to be one of the like six-pack guys, I can already tell you that. But this is an incredible piece of gear, something I wanted to invest in to get serious. And to my fault, I didn't really do that the past 2 years. I bought this thing and thinking it would manifest something and some sort of change in me, and hasn't. It's going to take more than that. It's going to take now me chasing faster and harder goals to get stronger. And ultimately I just want to feel stronger. So if you want to know the exact rack, it is the Rogue RML 490 power rack. And I have a barbell for it, a traditional 45 pound barbell. I believe it's the Ohio one. And then I have bumper plates, 45, 35, 25, 15, and 10s. So they look bigger than they actually are. So these are actually 45s and they look massive. So I don't know if that's just to impress the ladies, but I then bought 5s and 2.5s to add very specific weight. If I want to dial in weight, there is a pull-up bar all the way up top, which is awesome. And then I also have spotter arms in the back there, which can be put in the back or they can be put in the front. You can put them in any of the holes here, but that's just if I want to squat. There's a bunch of storage of bumper plates behind you. I could show you a little bit of B-roll, all of them stacked with on a carrier that can wheel back and forth and move it around if I'd like to. And then I also have these heavier kettlebells. They are also Rogue, and they are the, what are they? I can't read. Oh, they're the E-coat. This one is 40. The other one is 62. This boy, 62 pounds, 28 kgs. So that's good for like some deadlifting, just with a kettlebell. 62 is still a solid weight to be able to do that. And I can use them for other functional things like split squats and all that as well, which you've seen in other videos. Got my flags, my Go and More flag, Improve Yourself Right flag from BPN. And that's just about it. Other lawn tools that we put on that far wall, but that's the only non-gym stuff that exists in here. Just overflow from the side shed. I hope it was entertaining. I hope it was interesting. This is, again, become a haven. And yeah, I might put a light up in the ceiling to make the production even more extra, but we'll see. Any questions about any of this stuff, I would love to answer. If I'm able to answer, just leave those comments or questions down below. And get excited because the Chicago series is coming and I have massive plans for it, and this gym is going to be used a lot for it. Manifesting that right now, and you'll see if I end up following through with that. And this time I have all of the motivation to do so. So get pumped, and I'll see you soon. Okay, goodbye.